Hello and welcome to ADROSONIC Pulse, a podcast which is all about where technology meets innovation, business meets transformation, and together we bring to a space where we're having conversations that are shaping the tech landscape. I'm your host Morvi Sharma, and joining us today is a very special guest, Hassani Jess, Group Chief Technology Officer at AVENTUM Group, a global reinsurance company known for its innovative thinking and strong focus on technology and customer experience. It's great to have you with us, Hassani. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So, for our listeners, can you give us a brief about what your experience has been like, what your journey has been like, and what AVENTUM does?
Oh, absolutely. So, first of all, I'm so delighted to be on your podcast here today. Love getting the opportunity to talk about technology and things of that nature. My career in technology has spanned many domains, whether that be travel, healthcare, government, banking, and now I'll get the opportunity to really deep dive into the world of insurance. And it's been a wonderful 7 or 8 years working within the insurance domain. At AVENTUM, we are a leading MGA, slap bang in the middle of London, but operating globally, all over the world. And it's a company that's been growing very rapidly, really aggressively over the last 5+ years.
That's great. So, in the spirit of entrepreneurial journeys, as a CTO leading digital transformations across multiple entities, what are some of the biggest shifts that you've seen or observed, and how is technology driving business decisions in the insurance industry?
As human beings, we innovate and we create new ways of solving problems. But now, what I'm seeing and experiencing is a real shift to customer experience in insurance. Customer experience haven't been one of those things that have been very valued in insurance, but as people have got more used to technology, more used to flexible and productive ways of working, they want a good customer experience when they're using the tools throughout the industry. We're also seeing the real introduction of cloud-native systems, right? I think the insurance industry has been really a bit slow to really jump onto that cloud bandwagon. And it's not just to be in the cloud for the sake of it, but being in the cloud just enables scale to be more fluid. Enables innovations to happen more quickly. And I think that's happening more and more in the cloud space. Now, data has always been important in insurance. That's what underwriters use to evaluate risks, right? They've always used data along with their expertise and their gut feel to really quickly and expertly analyze information. And I think now data is becoming more on the predictive side of things. They want to be able to create models that are not just reactive and looking at the past, but that can predict the future and help them analyze risk more. And the technologies that enable that to happen in a customer-centric way, in a scalable way, in a safe way, we're seeing that is really empowering insurance experts to be even more effective.
Right, absolutely. So then in a landscape where partnerships between insurers, brokers, and tech partners are expanding, what, according to you, builds lasting trust between a business and its technology partners?
The whole business of reinsurance is based on partnerships. It's about spreading risks amongst a number of parties who come together to make a product available, right? So it's not just one company at any one time. You've got a collection of companies coming together. So partnership is at the core of what we do in reinsurance. Similarly, I think in technology, the best technologies come about when you've got a combination of fantastic technologies integrated together to enable something special and happen. And where you've got that partnership with technology providers, you can pull your innovation, you can pull your creativity, you can pull your capacity, and we're seeing more and more of that collaboration. Different technology partners coming together, different solutions integrating together. And those that integrate really well those are the ones I believe are going to flourish. Those who are a bit more siloed, a bit more, okay, we live on an island, it's going to be more and more challenging for them.
When we talk about partnerships, right, then events like Elevate Connect London bring together leaders across technology and insurance. So from your experience, how do you see such platforms identify meaningful partnerships and spark real innovation conversations?
Yeah, Elevate London, your second edition. I was there at the first one. That was a fantastic affair, and the second edition was equally as wonderful. And I think what's interesting about the Elevate conference, it's not a sales pitch conference, so its focus really was on empowerment and leadership education. And I think because of that, it just enables conversations to happen very naturally, right? You've got a spread of ideas very, very naturally. Relationships can flourish. Now, someone like me, networking is not my thing. I'm not the best networker in the world. But when you're at a conference like that, where your focus is on learning and leadership and education, it's easy to connect with your peers, and to do that networking that for some of us is not so natural. And it then enables that innovative thinking to flourish in those relationships that could spurn something in the future.
So then, in your opinion, what are the biggest priorities or even worries on the minds of a CTO or let's say CIOs as well right now? And are there any specific technologies, because you mentioned you would like to be at the cutting edge, you'd like to have a focus on that. So any strategic shifts that are shaping the agenda for the next 12, 18 months that you foresee?
I think the trends have always been on a cycle. Technology is always changing. So the people who know that technology are always going to be limited.
Right.
So that ability to learn and to grow and to adapt have always been front and center. But one of those things that I also see really becoming more and more important, and it's been that way for a decade or so, security. And with all the geographical challenges and geopolitical challenges that happen in the world today, that security of information, that security of intellectual property and knowledge is becoming more and more important. The integrity of that information. There is so much information. How do you know which one is true, which one is not so true? That is becoming more important. So I think security and the robustness of information is also becoming more and more important for us. And then clearly technical innovation. Do you have the ability to adapt and to leverage the latest technology solutions for your business? And that's something that's very important for us at AVENTUM, that we are at the front of the queue when it's safe, when it's ready, when it's robust, to be able to use these technologies to enable our business to flourish and to meet our partners' needs. Clearly, think of like AI. Generative AI, very, very important. This is a technology that's really shifting automation and enabling things to happen. But even things that are a little bit more traditional, a little bit more known, like machine learning algorithms, these are crucial elements to enable an insurance company to effectively manage its risks. And the better you can be at data science and things of that nature, you are going to excel over your competitors and enable your partnerships to flourish even more. So I think there's so many different technologies that are constantly pushing at the boundaries. And one of the things I always think about, even with all these technologies, all these challenges, is you need people who have the creativity to understand how to use those technologies in your particular context. Many people say, oh, I've got technology and you've got a solution looking for a problem, and that is an anti-pattern. But at the same time, people who cannot imagine how a new solution can help them in their current context, that is also an anti-pattern that we really need to train and get out of. And that's why that creative, innovative spirit is so important.
But how do you build a framework around this?
So I think there's a number of things that need to come together to enable that to happen. The first one, and I speak about it all the time, is culture. you need to have a culture that enables innovation to happen, that enables ideas to grow, that enables a mind to be open to consider the art of the possible. I think if you can create or enable an environment that enables creative thinking to grow rather than be suppressed, that is going to be one of those first things. Then the second thing is education. That culture needs to support learning. That culture needs to support people who have ideas and want to experiment and try things. Do you have the ability to try things in small spaces, safe spaces, less risky spaces, that you can find out, oh, this is what this technology works really well with, this it doesn't work so well with, and you create that learning and you can share that information within that cultural context that you have. Information sharing within most businesses is very low. That information exists in pockets of individuals. And then from a technology perspective, you want to have people who are technically excellent.
Right.
You want to have people who are technically excellent, who can learn and adapt to whatever new technology comes down the line. Now, most of the technology shifts that we have, for those outside of an industry, it looks like dramatic shifts. For those within the industry, you can see, okay, these are just steps.
Upskilling, basically.
And you need to upskill along the way. And if you've got that culture of people upskilling, then they're not going to be nervous, say, no, I'm an expert in this thing, I want to stay an expert in this thing. No, you be an expert, that was great, but there's this new thing coming down the line. You wanted to be an expert in that thing too. And you can move us and the organization and our solutions forward.
So in a world flooded with information, where do you personally go to stay ahead?
So Elevate is that type of place that I like, because you get fed a lot of information, a lot of triggers to go and do your own investigations. I'm a big YouTube fan, so I'm on YouTube all the time. There's so many people talk about different topics on YouTube, especially the different areas of AI, data manipulation and things like that. But what I primarily find is the most effective way for me as a leader is enabling my people to do the same thing. And when my engineers or my data engineers or my leaders, my product managers, when they are investigating and looking at different things, going to startup meetups, going to InsurTech showcases, that they collect lots of ideas that they bring back. We discuss those things. They come up with, oh, we think we should go to the left. We have those debates. We tussle together. And we create new ideas together. So I think there's so many places to get information. And the key thing there is all of these things are just data points. Right. You still need to collate them and come up with your own thoughts, come up with your own ideas. It's not just about, oh, somebody said ABC, so I'm just going to parrot it over there. You need to consume it, understand it, bring it into your own context and turn it into something new that means something for you and your business. And I think that is what happens within a team. That's what happens within groups of individuals. So all these different data points really help to make those conversations productive. And yeah, I love it. I love that learning experience. I love the ideation process. One of my head of innovation, we got him upskilled on design thinking so that he can help those conversations to happen within our team and throughout the whole business as well. So it's something I'm very, very passionate about and I really, really enjoy.
How does ADROSONIC, engage with leaders like you in a way that adds real value?
Yeah, actually, that's the point I should have added really, because one of the key data inputs is your partnerships. You rely on your partners to also be doing the same thing, to doing the research, to be staying ahead of the game. A company like ADROSONIC, their business is innovation. Their business is technological advancement. So I rely on ADROSONIC and others to bring that strategic insight, to bring those strategic innovations to me and to my team, to expose us to, oh, you may not have considered these technologies. You may not have considered these ideas. You may not have considered these approaches and these frameworks to help you be even more effective. So yeah, those things are really, really important.
Right. Then how do you approach introducing new technologies while maintaining operational resilience, especially in high-stake industries, especially like insurance?
Robustness is a key for any technology solution to be trustworthy. Safety. Is that solution safe and secure? It has to be safe and secure. We talked about that as one of the challenges that are on our minds all the time. You want enterprise solutions that are going to be robust, that are going to be safe and secure, that's going to keep your company's information safe, that's going to enable your colleagues to work safely, and that's going to enable you to be trustworthy to all your partners and to your customers. That's so important. And I also think it's really, really crucial that whatever technology you're doing is solving a problem. Right? They need to be connected to enabling you to be more effective at driving revenue, saving costs, enabling customer satisfaction, whatever that dimensional metric that is important to you, and all those three are all important to me. Those technological solutions need to be advancing that agenda.
So then a decade ago, what was considered a goldmine for engineers is now bad data. How future ready do you think the insurance industry is now?
As we've grown our expertise and we learn more, we understand, it depends on the data itself. Is the data good quality data? What biases are in that data? And what assumptions does that data take you down that you didn't intend? And what are the unintended consequences of that information? And now there are tools and techniques to help us address those things. But yeah, back then, those were not our immediate concerns. It was, we can just find them. It's giving us patterns, it's giving us indicators, and we want to leverage those things. In 10 years' time, I'm sure they will look back at what we're doing today, and they'll have new learnings around, the LLMs you maybe should have been thinking about them in a different way. And we've learned from the past to make that better. So when we're looking at our AI systems now, we are conscious of biases. We are conscious of the best practices and the ethical questions that some of these technologies raise. And some of those we have tools to address, and some we probably don't even recognize. And in 10 years' time, somebody will be in a podcast like this and say, if they had known X, Y, Z, they would have made different decisions. I'm always a little bit more... a little less judgmental, I should say, on leaders like myself in their past decisions, where you operate with the best knowledge you have at that time. We all learn, and in hindsight, we might make different decisions.
Right. But would you say that you're a leader of today, of now, or would you like to consider that you will think 10, 15 years beyond and try to implement that today?
No. So for me, I do focus on the here and now, based on the experiences that we've had in the past. I think history also shows us it's really, really difficult for anyone to even think 5 years ahead. Right. Much less 10 or 15 years ahead. So much changes in that period of time. I mean, to be fair, in the last 20 years, it's been a gradual evolution, right? I'm not that bright to be able to see 15 years into the future. I do focus on, what is the best that we can do today? What is the best I can do with the people around me to really make a difference today?
Do you think the next wave of innovation in insurance will come from inside the industry, or do you think it's going to be the outsider's approach?
I think the outside in, the disruptor model, right? So the outside in, that disruptor model of, I don't know anything about what you've been doing before. I've observed certain things, and I can come in and do things differently because I'm not constrained by the past, right? And I think that can be really, really powerful. But what I've observed, even with that disruptor model, is the danger to oversimplify things, right? Because there's lots of assumptions. You don't know the domain. So you're assuming, people are making decisions out of ignorance or out of a lack of understanding, whereas you don't understand all the nuances of that particular domain. Where the counter side is someone who's steeped in the domain and maybe so overwhelmed with the challenges and failures of the past, and they think, I'm stuck, we're stuck, it's always going to be this way, it's been this way for such a long time, it's always going to be this way going forward. So they may limit their creative thinking as to what the art of the possible is. And I think it's about that combination of the two. It's always about that balance, right? You want the combination of the two, that disruptive thinking that also has a respect for the legacy and the history of that domain. And when they come together, and they can really make those solutions that have a deeper understanding of the problem, the underlying infrastructural challenges that has created and generated the different ideas and different challenges, but does leverage the new thinking, the new ways, the new technologies that have been successful in other industries, or maybe not have been successful in other industries, but are more relevant to insurance in that way. So I think combining the two is always going to be the most effective way to make lasting and sustainable change.
So in just one or two words, if you had to just define it, how would you define the approach to the insurance? Like, would it be like a disruptive model? Like, how would you define it basically?
In one word, or I don't have one word, but in a small sentence,
Yeah.
I would say deep expertise combined with cutting edge technology creates lasting change.
If you could define one key trait that will separate successful insurance technologies leaders from the rest over the next decade, and what would it be, or why?
Partnership, learning, collaboration, taking the best and combining them to create solutions that nobody else has, enabling these different solutions to come together into an integrated package that is easy for customers to use and to make a difference in their decisions and their business making. Because insurance is a global market, it's a global set of solutions, especially in our market, in reinsurance. You do have many insurance products that are localized. Where we sit, we have localized products as well as global products. So you want to be able to connect with partners all over the globe. The ones that are technically advanced, you want to connect with those.
Yeah.
Those that are not technically advanced, you still want to connect with them and enable them to leverage the best of those worlds. And that's something I'm quite proud of with what we're doing, is we are creating technology that enables technically advanced partners to work really well with us, but we also respect those who are not as technically advanced to also work well with us, and doing creative solutions that gives them the best of those worlds too.
Well, that was great, Hassani. And we have a short surprise for you. We'll just do a small rapid fire round. And
let's
yeah, so let's go. One word that describes AVENTUM the best.
Entrepreneurial.
What's the first thing that you do when you start your workday?
Check my email.
Okay. Innovation or intuition, what drives decisions more?
Ooh. Intuition.
Intuition. Why?
Because I trust people. I trust people.
That's a great answer. A leadership mantra you swear by.
Trust is the foundation of any team.
Amazing. And one thing every successful partnership should have.
High collaboration, high trust, high technical expertise.
If not in insurance, what would your career choice would be?
DJ.
DJ. Nice.
I love music.
A travel destination still on your bucket list.
Japan. I'd love to visit Japan. The culture fascinates me. So yeah, Japan would be that place.
Amazing. That brings us to the end of ADROSONIC Pulse. It was great having Hassani join us and talk about his experiences and insights on innovation, technology. Thank you so much for joining us at ADROSONIC Pulse.
Been my pleasure.
Great. We hope you found this conversation thought-provoking as much as we did. Stay tuned for more and catch you in the next episode.